Everybody, please mute your Zoom call, and also please turn off your video at this moment.
That's what I saw.
Oh, okay. Let me do that too. Everyone, please turn off your camera and your microphone so we can start. So hello, everyone. And once again, please turn off your video as well as your microphone. Please turn off your video as well as your microphone. Everybody, once again, in the bottom left corner, I see somebody who still has their camera on. And also on the bottom left, you can see the symbol for the camera. If you can click on that, it will turn your camera off if your camera is still on. Just trying to get everyone's attention so we can achieve this goal of having all cameras off and all video off and all microphones off.
So it would be painful. So your choice, ears first.
Ready, everybody? Okay, welcome to our first annual board meeting of the year. This will be a little bit different. We'll start with the treasurer's report. There's no old or new business, so we'll dispense with that. Then some of the members will tell some interesting and touching stories of their cherished memories of the school. And then we'll start the program. So we'll start with our school cry and then the board report. Then 47 47 song, then stories and read alouds. And then 47, The School We Love, will be sung. And I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Lance Weinrib. I entered the school in 1965, and I left in 1969. My mother's name is Selma Warman, and she graduated in 1959. She had and my sister named Melinda, she graduated in 1969. And my father graduated in 1947. I will be your moderator for the meeting. So I would ask everyone to please keep your videos closed for the entire meeting, and also please keep yourself muted for the entire meeting. There are voice interpreters present, and that interferes with them being able to concentrate and hear everything well. And also, I would like to ask you not to chat in the chat box, because we have live captioning, and the chats, if they pop up during the live captioning, it will block the captioning. So you can hold your comments and everything until later. And then we will collect all of your comments and preserve them and give them to the board, who will consider them later. So at the top right of your screen, you have two options for the view. One is called speaker view, and the other one is called gallery view. The first one, speaker view, I suggest you use that, because then you can see us very clearly when we are talking, whereas in the gallery view, you will see everyone and you won't be able to see clearly when someone is speaking. So with that, I'd like to hope that you will enjoy the rest of the program.
I'm Joel Goldfarb from the 47 Alumni Association. We are having our 100 and you have to mute. We are having our anniversary of our school. And in 1913, we were founded. Our school cry became an important part of our legacy. So here we have our school cry. And later you will see our school song, but I hope you enjoy this. Thank you so much. Our school cry. 40, S-E-V-E-N. 47, 47, 47, 47, 47. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. Happy 2021 to all of you, from myself and the 47 board. I am Cheryl Pip Mortensen, and this is my name sign. I'm from the class of 1962, and I'm president of the Alumni Association of the Deaf since 2009. Prior to that, I was a vice president for many years. And I also am in charge of membership and the newsletter for since 2003. I was born in Pennsylvania, and my parents realized that I was deaf when I was the age of 2. And my parents did not want to put me into a school for the deaf in Pennsylvania. They rejected 4 different schools. So they eventually found a deaf school in New York City at PS 40. And that was not residential, and that was PS 47, so that I could commute to school by bus, which is what my parents wanted. So myself and my 3 sisters and my parents, we all moved away from Pennsylvania, and I entered 47 when I was almost 5 years old in 1951. A lot of deaf people think I was born in New York City, but I wasn't. Some of the things I've done for 47 have been hosting events or assisting with hosting them, celebrations, deaf expos, picnics, open houses at the school itself in the 47 alumni room. And board members typically host monthly meetings at one another's homes in turn. Now, of course, with COVID, we're still hanging in there. The board members are using virtual methods such as Zoom, VP, and Telecap. So we're using phones and videos and computers. Sorensen, and various other methods to enjoy chatting with one another. I would like to share a little bit of our history. In 1958, the 47 Alumni Association hosted its 50th anniversary for the school. And many, many people came for our banquet and the events that we presented at that time. And then after 1958, the Alumni Association sort of went dormant, and it basically shut down for a long time. And then Dorothy Pakula resurrected it. She resurrected the Alumni Association
In 1972.
in 1972. Then we reformed the board. We got our officers back. And the 47 Alumni Association has always chosen a person who is a hard worker, who is devoted and professional to honor with certain awards and recognition. And we continue to host celebrations every 5 years, the last one of which was in 2018, and we had a wonderful time. It was marvelous, and it was a very successful event. I have a few slides from that ceremony. So you saw that picture that I mentioned. That's a picture of me with my graduation dress on when I was about age 15. So that dress is over 58 years old, and I still have it. Wow. I made that dress myself in the sewing room at 47 school. And I love 47 with all my heart and always will. So you all stay safe and take care. And then next, I'm going to turn it over to our Vice President.
Hello, everyone. Please mute. I'd like to welcome you and introduce myself. I am Leela Lebovic, and this is my sign. I am the Vice President of the 47 Alumni Board. I graduated in 1966. I'm engaged with activities and events such as establishing booths and creating handmade decorations for our 47th, 100th, and 110th anniversaries. And the 47 alumni meetings, of course, I have been involved with for 14 years. We were very disappointed that we had to cancel our 47 alumni picnic last summer due to COVID. However, we will keep you posted as to when we're able to announce its occurrence in the future. I would like to share some of my memories. I moved to New York from another country. I came with my family and we only spoke French. I entered 47 as a student in 8th grade, and I felt incredibly awkward. And I saw all the other students communicating in sign in ASL, which meant that I had to learn 2 new languages. So first thing I did was I studied English. And I always brought a dictionary with me. It was a French-English dictionary. And that was the way I was acquiring language until I finally felt that I could achieve in my education, and I graduated. Unfortunately, 47 didn't have a high school, which meant I had to enter a mainstream setting, in a hearing high school. But I was very excited to see some former classmates from 47, so I was able to maintain those connections. I want to thank you. And now I'll turn it over to our treasurer.
Hello, everyone. I am Sarah Sue Penn from the class of 1961, and I'm the treasurer for the 47 Alumni Board ever since 2004. I dispense funds for the 47 Alumni room to be taken care of, to cover the insurances. I collect donations and membership dues, and keep the current balance is $7,073.22. We haven't been able to calculate the audit yet because of COVID. But we do have a list of the names of several people on this. So here are the slides for the treasurer's report. So now that we are done with the treasurer's report, I have another role, and that is as the Sunshine Coordinator. We picked the name Sunshine because we like to try and spread light and love and inspiration to others. We send get well cards, sympathy cards, and condolences cards. We give support to families that are associated with the 47 Alumni Association when someone passes away. And I will show you the pictures and names of the 12 people who have passed away in 2020. So you'll take a look at those.
Hello, I'm Dorothy Kohler. And this is my sign. I graduated in 1957. I left the school for many years and I returned as an instructor, a teacher in our school. And I taught there from 78 until 2006. So I was teaching at 47 for 27 wonderful years. I had a great time with my students, with the fellow instructors, the staff, the principals. Currently, I am the secretary and of the 47 Alumni Association. I've held this position for 21 years. I keep the notes from our monthly board meetings. And what? So in 2019, we had planned to have a general meeting, and we had a very special program. We've had a tour of the school, tour of the classrooms, our library, the alumni room, the museum, and a second event was refreshments in the library, which is room 218. And there was also a third special celebration where we named our alumni room after Dorothy Pakula. So this is now officially the Dorothy Pakula 47 Alumni Room. Dorothy entered in 47 and she entered in 1942 and she supported the school all along. Her daughter-in-law actually flew in from North Carolina to visit the alumni room named after her mother-in-law. We have a plaque that was unveiled, and her daughter-in-law, Randy, helped actually do the formal unveiling. And when you entered the alumni room, you saw a paper butterfly that was all over the table. there were many butterflies spread throughout the table. We then had a general meeting in the library, and we discussed for various issues. And one important issue is the number of deaf and hard of hearing students in our school, as that number is reducing rapidly. So we then, when this issue came to our attention, we met higher ups in the Board of Education, and we had meetings for 5 years until such time as we determined to create an ad hoc committee, which is a small group of members addressing a particular issue. And that ad hoc committee included the teachers, the Alumni Association, parents, as well as a representative from the Department of Ed. At the end of that meeting, we then came back and decided to create an event on March 20th, 2020 for our ad hoc committee to meet. Of course, that's exactly when COVID hit and the school was closed, which meant that we had to cancel that meeting and postpone it. I will now show you slides of the November 12th, 2019 event.
Well, got home, I worked until 8:30. And then we were gonna go to breakfast. Then look at Nate. He was beat up. I was like, we're not going to breakfast. And he told me to stay. He's like, stay. I'm like, I'm done, man. You can't do anything else. It's 8 o'clock. Robert Evans called me. I'm like, you know, I walk. Like, well, you know, get your seat. He has the thing done. I'm like, what the fuck? I got 45. I had saved it. I got 45 days to do it. And I said, Nate.
I do have an additional responsibility with the 47 Alumni Association. I am also the editor of the 47 Alumni newsletter. And I've been responsible for that for 28 years also. I would like to show you what the publication looks like. In our newsletter, we share a great many things. We have the president's message. We have information about events and certain announcements that are made, such as births, weddings, celebrations, graduations. So if you would like to share any of this with your fellow alumni, please let me know so that we can include it. I'd also like to mention there is a third responsibility I have. Miles Stowe has collected the history of 47 from 1908 to 2021, which is 113 years of history of our school. He's an alumnus of 47, and he has worked diligently to collect this information, which has not been an easy task. Once the school is open and safe, then I will be able to continue doing research on this history.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to you all. I am Thomas Samuels. I entered 47 in 1948 and graduated in 1952. And this is my sign name. Many people ask me, why is that your name sign? I'll tell you later at the end of my story, okay? I'd like to share with you all the special feelings I have about 47 because it's a great school. First of all, it's located on 23rd Street between 2nd and 3rd and 1st Avenue, which is a beautiful area. It's safe and it's been there. Well, I entered, and it's always been a safe area ever since I became a student there until now. And I remember that the first day, well, first of all, I'm from South Carolina. And my mom moved myself and my brothers and sisters here to New York when I was small. So on the first day of school, my mom brought me to school, to 47, and we entered the building and took a look around. And I will never forget that day. I was so impressed. First of all, there were all deaf people there, and I had never met a deaf person before that day. So it was great to mingle with them. And I'd also like to share with you the name of someone who really made a big impression on me, which was the principal during my time there. Her name was Harriet McLaughlin. She was the principal when I entered 47 at that time, and she was a fantastic woman. You know, she was very caring with the students. Sometimes she would just drop by a classroom and sit and watch the students. And then after class, she would sit and chat with students. That was impressive, and it made a big impression on me. To this day, I don't see too many principals doing that. It's a very, very rare thing. A principal who would do that is someone special. I was blessed to go to 47 because in 1948, there were many other schools for the deaf in New York City, lots of them. St. Joseph's, Fanwood, Mill Neck. But my mother placed me in 47. And I have to thank my mother for that. She passed in 1984, but I would really like to thank her. I'm so thankful that she put me into 47 school because 47 changed my life. It really did. Because 47 at that time was a wonderful group of teachers who were all amazing. They were all big-hearted people who cherished the students and prepared their students to enter the hearing world. That really impressed me. There's so many people I could mention, but one of my favorites who kept me under her wing so that it was easy for me to make progress in the school and gave me a lot of special attention. And I also wanted thank all of this, recognize all of the students there who were very, very warm and welcoming. I remember back in 1948,
It was not an easy time.
it wasn't an easy time, but I was very welcomed into the school and had made friends with many of the students there. And some very specific ones I became very close with, a couple of them who really had a big impact on my life and continue to have an impact on my life. For example, Al Dupree and Alfred Missiona. They made a big impact on my life. Without having gone to 47, where would I be now? I'd have no idea. I can't say. And I can't say enough about 47. So that's my commentary. I love 47 and thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Happy New Year. I know this past year has been incredibly challenging and just crazy. And I hope you've come through safely, but I know that you've gone through hardship, frustration, loss of loved ones. And there's been a lot of sacrifices that we've all made. And I know that it's easy for us to say, but nobody really understands. And I think it's very critical to say that I say this as a former teacher and as a parent of a student at 47. My name is Lauren Ridloff. I used to teach at PS 347 from, when was that? 2002 to 2011. So 11 years. I started there on my very first day. I was teamed with Gary Welbrecht as my team instructor. I feel incredibly fortunate that he was there with me because it was fantastic. And I know that I was fortunate also to be involved with a teaching community that we have at 347. Very novel teaching approaches. And the principal even had a dog she would bring to school on occasion to visit the students. I felt very fortunate that we have the staff and faculty around that we could just look down the hall and wave to each other and feel connected. And they became an important part of my life. I felt very fortunate in my years in the classroom there. I felt it was a very spiritual place for me. And the students taught me so much. I would look forward to doing story signing every day and read alouds because it could get excitable in the classroom. And then they would all calm down as we would have stories. And the students would watch the signs. I would sign the stories. Gary would read them from the books. And I think that actually helped prepare me for my performance career today. I was starring on Broadway. I played Sarah Norman in Children of a Lesser God 3 years ago. And I was even nominated for a Tony, which is astonishing. And they even brought their first grade class to see the show from 347. Afterwards, I came backstage and it was so exciting to be with Gary and to see all the students at my show. I'm very proud to see these children growing from the age of 5 and see their progression. And I am looking forward to their future professions and their connection with the PS 347 community. I look back and it really is evidence to me of how important a teacher's room is, because the classrooms are small, you may not know that, but the classrooms are a microcosm of the greater communities, so that you can see what their values are and what we believe are important. That's evidenced in the classrooms. And I never felt alone. And I am so thankful and appreciative to all of them, teachers, paras, students, administrators, school nurse, faculty, everyone there that makes the school run and makes the school feel like community, like a home away from home. Now we've got this new year coming up, and I'm just asking that we all continue to stay strong. Take care, everyone.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ken Mortensen. I left 47 in 1955, and I've been a board member for 30 years. I retired from 47 after 21 years, and I have another responsibility as the membership drive, which means that I'm responsible to liaise with 47, to attempt to recruit students to join the 47 Alumni Association, as well as being involved with people who are already members, including doing outreach amongst those current members. I send out the newsletter 3 times a year. And we've already heard about what's included in the newsletter, but I do such things as labeling and preparing the newsletter to actually be sent out for the 47 alumni members. Each year we have a general meeting so that the members can voice their opinions, make suggestions for improvement. And as also we interact with the people at 47. For the new members, we also make sure that they receive the newsletter and let them know things, even for people who've never gone to 47, but who are interested in our programs, they can find out through the newsletter if they're a member. One of the things I didn't realize until many years afterwards was that the school has a yard out there in the back. Everybody knows that. And in 1953 or 2 or 1954, maybe, I don't remember the exact year, but I remember very well that we used to go out into that yard and play. And when it was time for my class to go back into the classroom, I actually never went back to class. I would hide because the next class coming into the yard was my brother's class. He was a few years younger than me. So I would wait for him to come out into the yard so that I could play with him. I don't know how many times I did that, but I would do that. I would stick around to play with my brother. And when their time was up and he was supposed to go back to his class, I would then go back to my own class. And I didn't think anything of it. But many years later, as I grew up, I would look back on that and think, oh my goodness, wow, I never realized that the teacher allowed me to do that, to play with my brother. That's one of the reasons it's such a fantastic school. They could have enforced the rule and forced me to go back to my class, but they didn't. They allowed me to stay and play with my brother and share that special time, which was very thoughtful of them and very nice, very considerate. And that's why I love 47, because it's such a special place. It's such a good place full of good-hearted people, and you could feel comfortable there. And I remember those days playing with my brother from time to time in the schoolyard, all through those years from 52 or so until I graduated in 55. And also every year during the general meeting, there are former students, alumni, who get together and share their experiences of their times in the old days. And looking back on those memories, you know, the board members, we have a board meeting every month, of course. And sometimes we also talk about the old days during the board meetings, which is very nice. So,
Hello, everyone. I am Cheryl Mortensen, president of the 47 Alumni Association. The photo I just showed you includes pictures of Stephen Furtek and William Newman. These are the archivists for the 47 Alumni Association, and they've been in that position since 2009. They're responsible for collecting items, photographs, and artifacts. It could be metals, woodwork, clothing, etc. And they collect them from alumni who wish to donate their items to 47. And they are responsible for the care and preservation of these items that may be placed in the 47 Alumni Museum and other locations around the school. I do have important information to share. I was shocked and upset to receive a call from some alumni members So this is a photo of Lloyd Scheiken. I've been told that he's been asking individuals to give their items to him, photos and so forth. He is not our archivist and has not been since 2009. He's not a member of the 47 Alumni Association. He is no longer associated. And I think this shows he's not respectful of the Alumni Association. So my message to you is please do not give Lloyd your items, your memorabilia. And if he is asking you for that or bothering you, say no. And please take notes if you do receive contact from him, and then email them to us. Thank you.
hi, everyone. Hope everyone is well. I am. My name is Stephen Furtick, and my name sign is here. I'm from the class of 1969, and I am one of the archivists since 2009 until the present. My duty is to collect artifacts. For example, woodworks, metal, jewelry, pins and other award pieces, uniforms, hearing aids, and many, many other items, and preserve them at the school. We have 347 alumni rooms. Room 206. The second one is the auditorium foyer area. And the third one is the 47 annex building, which is the new wing. And there's an area in their foyer as well that we are in charge of. That's the 47 vocational program and museum, which is very special because we no longer have a vocational program. We don't have shop classes any longer at 47. Classes such as wood shop, metalworking, printing, sewing, typing. So we have to preserve those memories by collecting items to show and preserve the memory of what we used to do in those classes. That's why we collect those artifacts from the shop classes that we used to have at vocational classes at 47. This is very special, and it's a very special museum. We have a very special clock that is still there in our lobby, for example, and I will show you a picture of what that looks like. It's a very important piece of our history. So I have a few slides. So those were the two foyers in room 216. And if you know anyone who wishes to make a donation of any artifacts such as pictures or pins or alumni yearbooks or any other items, please do reach out to me through email. I want to thank you for your attention. And then next, my co-archivist will have a few comments.
Hello, everyone. I am William Newman. This is my sign. And I'm from the class of 1959. I am the assistant archivist. I work alongside Steve and have done so since 2009. My responsibility is to also collect photographs and place them into albums. And we have albums for every decade. I also use the computer so that I can save all of these photos digitally. I am present at the 47 school every Tuesday from 10 to 2. However, unfortunately, our school is still closed due to COVID. But once the school has opened again, I will let you know when I'll be there. I would like to share 3 interesting items with you that we have received. And firstly, I would like to thank Donna Marie Bugler for this photo of a graduation of a 1957. In this photo, you see the boys who are graduating marching down the aisle. Now, interestingly, we already had a photo from that very same graduation of the girls marching down their side of the auditorium, but we did not have one of the boys' side until we just received it from Donna. Her father was Michael, who graduated in 1954, and her mother was Rosemarie Falsa Perta, who graduated in 59. Rosemarie actually is in the photo, and the photo is showing where she's seated in the auditorium, and you see the boys parading down the aisle. The second item I want to share with you is an apron that was sewn by an alumnus, and it's exceedingly rare because this apron was not sewn by a member of the girls' class. It was sewn by a boy, Charles Nodden. Class of 1957. He's the very one who sewed the apron that has been donated. It's beautiful. It's been framed and it will be displayed at the 47 Vocational Museum. Hopefully, you'll be able to see it in the near future. The third item is thanks to Kenneth Rothschild. Class of 1959. We thank him for his recent donation. It was made in the metal shop class. It is a lively copper plate. You will see beautiful workmanship. And of course, it will be displayed alongside the other items at the 47 Vocational Alumni Museum. And now I'd like to share photos of all 3 items on the upcoming. So once the school reopens, we will welcome you to visit. So please feel free to email us and so that you can make an appointment on any Tuesday, which is when you'll be able to visit the 47 alumni rooms and view these items along with all the others. Thank you. Next, we turn to our auditor.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jacob Horowitz from the class of 62. I joined the board in 2008. I'm currently the auditor. And I'd like to thank you. And
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first virtual board meeting and general meeting. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Betty Drummer Kasher. I came to New York from Israel and was very overwhelmed by the difference, but I immediately entered 47 in 1957. I am very proud of my extended family that has also attended the 47 school. So I'd like to share my family members who are also alumni members. My late husband, Stephen Kasher, who graduated in 1957. My two children, Aaron Kasher, who came in 94 and left in 2001, and my daughter Hinda, who left in 2002. My two grandchildren also attended. They are Esther Fass, who attended school all the way through 8th grade, which was in 2009, and her sister Heidi, who also attended school all the way through the 8th grade and graduated in 2009. But that's not all. There's more. My sister Barbara Drummer Seltzer graduated in 1968. Her children attended also. Chaya, and this is her sign, who graduated 8th grade in 2000. Her other daughter, Sarah, entered 47 and left in 2004. And my sister also has grandchildren who've attended 47. Leora Seltzer and her sister, Aliza Seltzer. One graduated in 2010 and the younger one left. Aliza left at the same time her sister did in 2010. Another grandchild is Ariella Zafati and sibling Alona and other sibling Elian. All three of them entered 47 and left the school in 2011. I'm very proud of my large family connection to 47. I'd like to share what I do. I am the liaison for the 47 Alumni Association to the school. In that regard, I work with the principal and the Department of Education, various officials, also with the teachers in the school and alumni groups, which means that I will come to the school and discuss concerns about the school's future. My most important focus is recruiting deaf and hard of hearing students for 47, because the numbers are dwindling. And the numbers of hearing students, conversely, are increasing, which is not our or my 47. It's not the mission of our school. Our mission is that deaf students have deaf and fluent signing teachers. And of course, we're welcoming hearing students, but that deaf culture and deaf history are imbued in the program all the way from K to 12. I must share what happened some time ago in April in 2010. At that point in time, the Department of Education decided that the Clinton School for Writers and Artists would move into our building. They had previously shared space on the west side with PS 11, and then they were going to take over ours, which would have choked us out. So we hosted a public forum, like a public hearing, held in the 47 Alumni Auditorium. 500 people attended this meeting, including alumni members, parents, teachers, and even school members of PS 138, which shares our building, and also members of the Clinton School for Writers and Artists. We had a healthy debate, opinions were shared, and the board had 70 different presenters, which included students, and we were fighting to keep the integrity of our school, and we were opposing the Department of Education's proposal. And we won. We won. The DOE decided that the Clinton School for Writers and Artists, would be moved to a different location and not foisted in our school. It was a very proud moment for the 47 Alumni Association. I'd like to share. Hi, everyone. I'm Onude Nikolarakis, and I'm also known as Dr. Ani. I was formerly a teacher at PS 347, which I would say was 2013 to 2020, I believe. And I have so many memories that it was hard to pick just one, but I've selected a few to share with you. One has to do with teaching, and the other is more a personal comment as a deaf teacher in the environment. So that will be my second recollection. I would like to share the first now. I had been teaching at 347 for 3 years, and I was teaching math. I had taken workshops, professional development, learning how to modify approaches for students. And I had learned some interesting strategies. And I decided to create a math story problem day in our school where I was going to make it bilingual. We'd have sign language as well as the English problem set so that students could both view the signs and the English and then get together to discuss possible ways to solve the math problem. At the end of this exercise, they came together, and some students found quick ways, some students found ways that weren't as effective, and we had a great discussion. And seeing that in progress, that real depth of critical thinking, showed me the power of the bilingual approach, and that word problems written in English may have been a challenge for deaf students who had the skills to do the math, but may have been stymied by the English wordage. And I saw that deaf students could benefit from having that information in their first language, ASL, and then in English. And that's not just for deaf students, it could have benefited CODA, and it was just equal access for everyone. And that was a very powerful moment as a teacher. I could actually see students benefiting from that bilingual approach and appreciating both ASL and English. And now I'd like to talk about, that was a great teaching moment, but now I'd like to talk about just what it was like in our lunch hours. We would have the deaf staff, not everyone, but a lot of people at that time would come to my room. And that's the time where we could hang out and talk about everything from A to Z, how we were getting through our classes and how we were dealing with hearing students, different approaches we were trying, all sorts of topics. And for me, it was really very special because I was working day and night in a hearing environment with a hearing code, teachers and staff. And yet at lunch, I could get my deaf fix, that moment where we could just be ourselves and hang out. And that really made it feel like a sense of community and home. And that is something I've always appreciated about 347 and something I keep in my heart. So both of those memories, the teaching moment with the bilingual approach and my opportunity to interact with the deaf staff, both of those are cherished memories that I will hold in my heart forever.
Hi, everyone. I'm Heidi Fass, and I'd like to tell some recollections of Steve Younger, who was my teacher in third grade. He had a huge impact on me. I had him the year after that as well, in fourth grade, and those were some of the best years I had at 47 when I was in his class, because I remember, so much about those days. In third grade, I happened to be in third grade when 9/11 happened. And I remember, everything happened, and it's, quite a memory that we have. We all had to walk home from school that day. So many people were affected by that. And then Steve Younger, eventually after that day, and we all were back in school, he asked us to come, and he sat down with us, and he embraced us and asked us to share our feelings and express what we had been through. And it was a very warm experience that I shared with him, and a great spirit that he lent to the environment after that tragic event. So that's something that I will always embrace and cherish. And he would talk with us and fool around with us and share stories with us, take us on trips, play games with us. We'd go on trips on the subway, and we'd be all together. We'd be joking around and teasing each other and seeing the sights. And he was a person who was full of humor, and, he was a younger person, so it was really nice, and he was really one of my favorites. And of course, he would always do read alouds with us, and he would read our favorite books, such as the Lemony Snicket series, like Lemony Snicket series of unfortunate events, and he would read the book, and then he would do it in sign language, and it was so fascinating to see it done in our language with the right expressions and the right, our own language. And we would beg him for more and more. And also it was an experience of seeing a Black deaf teacher. That was my first experience seeing that. So I will always cherish those memories. And I'll remember forever in my heart, having that experience of being in his class. So that is one of my fondest memories. And I just like to say, love you to all of you, to my 47 family, and hope you guys will all keep in touch. And I'm looking forward to enjoying future celebrations with you all through the Alumni Association. So thank you so much. Love you all.
Hello, everyone. I am Hinda Kasher Hoffer. This is my sign name. I entered 47 and then I left in 2002. And my favorite memory was in photography class with Bruce as our teacher. And at that time, of course, as you know, 47 is in Manhattan. So we were in the city and we could have photographs of people outside and active and lots of things, lots of opportunities for subjects. So then we'd return to the school and actually develop them in the darkroom. And I remember having a great deal of fun. And I also wish to thank my mother, Betty Kasher. She's the one who encouraged me to come to Dorothy Kohler's home for one of the monthly 47 alumni board meetings. And that's where the president, vice president, secretary, treasurer were all sitting around. And I happened to be seated next to Rolf Olofsson, who said, look at this board. It's pretty much created by older people. We need some young blood on the Alumni Association. And that really had an impact on me. There were no people from my class, from my generation. Most of the board members were from my parents' time. And I remember this. That was in 2015. And the very next year, Rolf passed away. And the 47 Alumni Association held a nice tribute for him in the 47 auditorium. And I would like you to see my shirt. I actually designed it. There are two different designs, but this was my first design. And the second is a design you'll see other board members wearing. I became the education liaison. I would have conversations with the principal about the curriculum and what areas were strong and what areas needed improvement as in my position on the board. From then I started to do a lot of research on the New York City public school system. So each district and so forth, there are so many schools. So I started learning a lot about them, and I realized that there are a great many bilingual programs. And those programs are in schools that value their own language and culture as well as English. So I brought my research to the principal. And the teachers at 47 invited me into their classrooms so that I could observe and then perhaps even share some ideas of how to continue the spirit of 47 in their classrooms. And I would see kids signing, I would see some other children speaking. And the deaf and hard of hearing and coda and hearing kids were all in the classroom. And if a teacher had fluent signs, they would sign, the kids would sign. But then outside of the classroom in the halls and cafeteria is where I noticed that people were not signing. And that had an impact on me. So the teachers and myself and the alumni board decided to create an ASL committee. And that was going to be an area that we needed to work on, because we know that role modeling is incredibly important in any school. And a role model is someone that the students would look up to. If there were a teacher who signs fluently, then we knew that the children would be better signers upon graduating themselves. I really enjoyed my work with the 47 alumni community. It's something I treasure. In 2019, I actually moved 3,000 miles away to Alaska, where I have a new life. And the 47 Alumni Association board meetings are now continuing on Zoom, which allows me to still participate and support the school. Our next speaker is also an emeritus board member.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sarita, and my last name is Laina. I'm from the class of 1978. And I joined the board in 2004. I was one of the youngest of all the members. You know, most of the members are pretty much older than me. But I learned how to be a member of the board. I was enthusiastic, and I really enjoyed my time here. In 2009, I became a vice president of the board, working with the president, Cheryl, and the 47 alumni members. We hosted meetings. We hosted events such as Deaf Expo and various booths, picnics, open houses. And I thought I could use some help with some of my duties, so I pulled in 3 other volunteers. And they are Jose Ramos
80.
from 1980,
Soto. Yvette Soto. From 76. I can't hear you.
and we met from time to time and did many things together. And I want to thank them very much for helping me. Along with Steve Furtick and William, they are the archivists and the archive assistants, and I help them to collect items for the archive to preserve our memories. They are present in the school on Tuesdays, and I am present on Tuesdays and Fridays. Actually, I usually attend the school on Friday from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. I also moved away from New York City, and I live in Florida, which is a big disappointment because I can't be involved in the meetings anymore. But then the board started to meet virtually on Zoom. So I was able to come back and join the meetings and the board, for which I'm very grateful. So I just want to thank you all and turn it over to our next emerita on the board.
Hello, everyone. I am Joel Goldfarb. I'm the class of 59. This is my sign. And many people asked me why that's my name sign, but that's a very long story for another time. I pretty much was raised in the school, and I was a little mischievous, you could say, as many of you, I'm sure, witnessed. And in my report card, I'd get a lot of U's, unsatisfactory, but eventually it was changed to I for improving. Finally, I returned to the school as a teacher, which was ironic, or maybe not so ironic. I taught 27 years for 27 wonderful years at 47 from 80 until 2007. And the school went through great changes over that time. It started out as an oral program, then to total communication, and finally to a signing environment, and then to a bilingual environment. And we've notated all these changes in our records. So I taught for all those years. And then in 1983, Dorothy Pakula, who revived the 47 Alumni Association, as you've heard, asked me to join the board, which I did. Now, the board was entirely comprised of women. I was the only man. And the president at that time was Evelyn Gamsu, class of 56. And it was a fun group. I enjoyed my working with them. And in 1990, I was voted in as vice president. Alan Anders was president at that time. 1 year later, he resigned, and I assumed the presidency. There was a crisis at that time in 47. So let me explain a little bit about the public school system to give you background. 47 is a public school, and there are 1,100 public schools in New York City, and serving all 5 boroughs: Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, and Staten Island. 1,100 schools, elementary, middle schools, and high schools. At that time, the chancellor was in charge of all the schools. And overnight, what happened was he decided to split 47 overnight. And he decided that 47 would have 2 separate names: PS 347, with a brand new principal and an assistant principal that would be serving pre-K through 5th grade. And then the J47 principal would remain in place, serving only 6th to 9th. And it was the director of special ed who had determined that everything should be run in a certain way, which didn't make any sense. But later we found that there was a hidden agenda to dismantle our school completely. Previous to that, the 47 Alumni had been a charitable organization. We would donate to the school's needs, but all of a sudden, overnight, we had to become activists. So we started having meetings with a variety of different people: city council members, state government level, our assembly members, our state senators, and the Board of Education at that time had meetings, and then we met with higher ups in the Department of Education as well. We met these people very frequently. We got newspapers involved. We were on the TV news, and we were asking even the National Association of the Deaf to help. And they had their local association, the Empire State Association for the Deaf became involved, and even the New York City Civic Association for the Deaf, which whose president at that time was Steve Younger, and as we've mentioned, he just passed away last year. So we had all these different associations, coverage, spotlighting our rallies, and we were commenting and making ourselves heard. And the chancellor, and especially the special education director, but the chancellor even heard about this through the TV news and came to see us and determined that we should return to being only one school, which meant we won. And that's when we recognized we had power. Because even though we were a small alumni association, we could make a lot of noise. And we had the political contacts to help us. So in my 17 years as president, I saw a great many changes. I finally stepped down from being president, and Cheryl, who had been my vice president at the time, became president. And it's amazing how quickly time has passed. I moved to the liaison position as the education liaison that Hinda just explained. Betty was the school liaison, school policy and politics liaison for many years. But then I moved to Florida in 2018. Just 1 year after Sarita, both of us moved away, and it was very disheartening that I could no longer be involved. But now that we have Zoom meetings, I'm thrilled to be back. I'm thrilled to be active and engaged in supporting our school and our alumni. With that being said, this is a good opportunity using Zoom to recruit younger and more diverse members of our alumni association. Because we don't have to drive to attend meetings. Now people can attend meetings from their own home and support the Alumni Association. Let me explain a bit about the structure of our school, because I understand there's some confusion. Is it a deaf school? Is it a hearing school? What's going on? So even though we have put this information in the newsletter, I think that it hasn't been clear. People have not understood or have forgotten about the situation. So allow me to explain it quickly here. Since 2003, the school did split, but not as the board tried to do, where they tried to impose it on us. This actually was a long, slow process that had begun long before 2003. And it was determined we would divide into two separate schools. The title of 47 is and there's the 47 upper school and 47 lower school. The lower school is pre-K through 8th grade and has a principal and assistant principal running them. Its number is now PS 347, as has been mentioned in some of those discussions of the bilingual situation. So the reason it has a number is that every elementary school is assigned a number. So an elementary school was assigned 347, and we have about anywhere up to 150 students. They separated the high school, which is labeled 47, which is the American Sign Language and English high school, as opposed to the American Sign Language and English lower school. 47, the high school, has a principal and assistant principal. So they are in the top two floors of the building, 4th and 5th, and then the elementary takes over the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd floors. It's a good working relationship. The students are deaf and hard of hearing, and CODA students, as well as hearing students. In 2003 and 2004, you had a large deaf population in the school, but somehow due to politics, deaf students are not being sent to 47. They're being sent to other students, and there's 2,200 deaf and hard of hearing students throughout the school system. And we've been engaged with trying to get more students to attend 347 and 47. It's kind of like if you have a flat tire, it's hard to drive a car, but once you put enough air in, the car runs fine. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to pump up the number of deaf students in both the lower school and the high school so that we can have the air of the deaf culture. Why it can't just be a deaf school is too long a story, but for now we are working with supports, and we are trying to support the 47 school. We have our museum, we have our alumni room, we have a deaf principal in 347, and we're working closely with them. But the alumni is not something that can be forgotten. We host celebrations every 5 years in honor of the school. We have picnics every year. We host open houses twice a year. And we also have shows with an open house, or we can have general meetings in addition and other events. The 3 schools and the Alumni Association and the events are coordinated to the best way we can. So that's my report about the school situation. Thank you. And next is the 47 is not just a number, which is a political rally that we want.
"47, it's not just a number." 47 is a valued place where each of you and myself as well feel so good. When we enter that school, we grow up there, we leave, we experience the classes and the teachers, the sporting events. Even after graduation, we remain in touch, and the Alumni Association keeps us in touch. Our love and friendship continues and endures. Since 1916, the Alumni Association has stood strong. And that's because of you, because of your spirit, because of your valuing the school and supporting it. We aspire to be strong and to support the school so that the future will be meaningful and the graduates will be able to look up to us and remain connected to the 47 alumni. We cherish our memories and we want to be able to pass them on. We have 113 years of those memories, and it's so important. 47 is not just a number, absolutely not. It's something we really, really cherish and will hold in our.
Hello, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed our program. And I want to offer special thanks first to Dorothy Kohler, who did a terrific job coordinating this program. I also want to thank the Alumni Board. It's been fantastic the way we've all worked together. Next, I must thank Hinda Kasher-Hoffer for her excellent work on creating the slides and the videos. Much appreciation. I want to thank our 2 interpreters, Stephanie Fain and Tavoria Kellum, for their excellent work. I want to thank our live captioner, Barry Wolfman, and Happy New Year. Have a healthy new year to all of you. Stay safe and be well, be wise. Now
Thank you all for joining us this evening for the 47 Alumni General Meeting on Zoom. I'd like to thank Lance Weinrib for hosting and being the MC for this, the moderator. He really worked hard and did a wonderful job. I'd like to say Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Happy 2021 from myself and from the 47 board. Stay well and be safe. I will show you the list of acknowledgements since on a slide.
Mr. Allison.
One of the, which is Mr. Allison. And also you will see a picture, who was a PE teacher at the school and was honored. And also you'll see
Hello again. We will be finishing shortly, but I want to mention that the slide you just saw with the photo of our gym teacher, Arnold Allison, who was teaching from the late 1940s all the way through the 1970s. He actually wrote our school song, 47 School We Love. It is taken from a naval song, Anchors Aweigh. And it was often played accompanied by a piano. And every Wednesday in the auditorium, the boys would wear white shirts and blue pants with a red tie. And the girls would wear white blouses and scarves and a skirt with a red scarf. At that time, it was all oral, it wasn't signed. But if you look up at speaker view, no longer, you can switch to gallery view if everybody will open your cameras so that we can all do this together. Please sign with me. 47, School We Love. Best in the land. True we always will be to her. For 47 school is grand. Gold as the sun. Blue as the sky above. Colors that we love at 47 school. Our junior high. This formally concludes our first virtual general meeting. And now you can leave the cameras open on the gallery view, which you can find at the top right view. Make sure that your cameras are open. You can talk with your friends, catch up, anything you wish. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. And I hope you enjoyed our very first virtual meeting. Love to all.